for trackables and kept going.
I guess I could go into what
Well,
this
let's
here.
go to different different types first.
Different types.
Okay, there are 11 different types.
I think it's, yeah.
11 different types. We have a traditional cache. Traditional cache would be an ammo can, any of the preforms, anything like that. All it is you'll get a little description on it, why the owner is bringing you to that area, and you just have to log it. There's also ones where it's called a multi-cache, where you have to do 2 or 3 or 4 or how many steps before you find the log sheet. It'll take you from one area to the next to the next. Usually that's pretty good. If, like up here at Fort Griffin, we went from the bakery to the ammo to the civic to the center. We bring you here, bring you over there, and then the cache is over at the center.
You'd have some kind of little container with the cords that do a waypoint to the next locations.
Yes.
The way they have it.
Yes.
Then you'd enter that in and make a waypoint and send you the next one until you get to the final.
Until you get to the final. So usually those are 2, 3, 4 steps.
Does it give you as a bird flies, or does it?
As the bird flies.
So it doesn't factor in hazards?
It does not factor in hazards. It does not factor in driving. It is as the bird flies.
Oh yeah, I've been on trails where, oh, it's straight right over here, but you have to go all the way around
to get to it. The one that we have down here called the firefly habitat is like that. You take the trail to the left. Don't try to cut through. Just take the trail to the left, and it'll be so much easier on you. But a lot of geocachers will go straight through, and then they'll find the trail coming out. So, different other types. What I was talking about earlier was called a virtual. Virtuals were back from 2000 to 2005. What they did was that they brought you to a place, and you could answer questions that you can only find the answers there. Not where you can find online or anything like that. You have to answer questions like, one that we came across was how many windows are inside this building, and you had to go and count the windows and answer. They're more of a history type setup. Most of the virtuals are. You will find them a lot, like in downtown Dallas. One of the ones that I remember was about the Green Knoll. Had 4 or 5 questions that we had to answer and told the story, and we kept going after that. But it brought you to a really neat area, did some history. We also have what we call a mystery cache. It can be a mystery cache, a puzzle cache, a challenge cache, all wrapped up into one. It's called a mystery cache. It has a little question mark. It has a question mark icon to it. And you're going to have to go do some research probably on Google, or you have to meet certain standards before you can sign the log of it. Like one of them, we had a challenge where you had to find 25 caches that had the word love in it. Once you found those, then you submitted to the owner, okay, I have 25 of these, then you can go sign the log. Okay. So there's challenges out there. Now, right now, nobody can put out new challenges. Geocache, Groundspeak, the owners of geocaching website, has put it to where nobody can publish any new challenges right now. The ones that are out there, but they don't know if they're going to completely take them away or if they're just setting up guidelines. Sounds like hopefully in the next 6 months we'll find out what they're going to do about it. We're hoping they'll open them back up, because a lot of people go strictly for the challenges. Or you can have what we call field puzzles. This is also still under the mystery cache. You go there and you have to figure out how to get to the log book. Jonathan specializes in that there in the Abilene area. We have 8 or 10 of them out there at Lake Fort Phantom, where you have to.
Puzzle cache.
I thought they were. No, they are field puzzles though. They could be classified as that also. I'm sorry. Under mystery caches or puzzle caches, it's the catch-all of if it doesn't fit into a traditional or a multi or a virtual. There's others, but those are the main ones that you're going to come across.
Then there's Earth cache.
And there's Earth caches also, where it has to talk about geology.
It's all virtual.
It's where you go out there and you answer their questions, email them, and then you can log it, say that you found it, but there is no log sheet. Those are
just like just set up just like the virtual cache.
Yes. So, next, go ahead.
Okay, this is kind of different ways you'll find caches hidden. That's why I kind of put this together. I mean, people get really creative with them. Like, first one here, you find under the top. You find a log sheet in there. Then, there'd be one behind the sign. So there's one behind the sign. Even inside some of these.
We had one like this, but it got destroyed and we've never replaced
And
it.
then you open this and then.
And you realize that the log sheet's not in there, so you go to the next one until you find it, that it's in there. Now, I would not recommend this on the side of a house,
Yeah. I was like
okay?
saying,
But we had one of these to a telephone pole
Out in the middle of the country.
out in the middle of the country.
People aren't gonna.
And so,
You don't get pulled over, people like cops and stuff going.
Yeah, they know what it is though.
you explain what geocaching is to you.
Most of them know.
Most of them know what it is. Or what we've started seeing people come out with is they have these little business cards. Here, this will explain it.
Yeah.
And it explains what geocaching is.
Okay.
Don't lie to
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
them.
But when you're also,
Do it.
I'm looking for buried treasure.
Do you have to email them, or can you just lay out the log?
When you find a log, you write your name on, and then you can log it on your app, and the owner will automatically get that email once you have logged it that you found it. They will get that email and be able to read what you have written down. Also,
You find them hidden on like a fake rock. They
Yes.
come like this, and then that's one of them. There's even one. They have them behind these plates like this.
you will find some of a lot of these in urban caches, where
They'll be-
it's on the side of yes, where it's only the log sheet.
Yeah.
But they have magnets to it, and they'll have it stuck onto the side of electrical equipment. You will find these a lot in the urbans.
And
That
then
is
this,
a
this will probably blow your mind here. How small this cache is. This is called. It comes under the micro category.
nano, you call it
Yeah,
nano.
nano. Yeah. And we got this. This is like what you use in origami, but it works great for rolling these logs.
It's called a quilling pin.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
what it's called.
You're
And
not
you stick it in there and you
See how it works?
twist it up. Here, we can pass it around.
And on a cache like this, you would probably just like, since we're like fishing kitty, we'd just put FK on there.
Because of the size and because of there's not a whole lot of room.
Unless you can write really tiny, which I can't do to save my life. Oh my
There's
goodness.
magnet on the back. So you'll find a lot of these nanos stuck up underneath on something metal.
Then you just use your quilling tool.
Quilling pin to go in and to pull it out, sign your name, and then you twist it back up and stick it back in.
Anybody else want to say?
Print it on the computer and then make it so small that you have to use a magnifying.
And actually, when you buy the nanos, they already have the log for you so that you don't have to make your own, because it is a pain in the rear.
I made them before.
Please don't try to get the paper out, but you can go ahead and look. Go ahead, Jonathan, keep going.
Okay, then people, like I said, people get creative. I've seen caches hid like this, where they're.
So this is the actual
It's not
one.
in there. Oh, yeah, it is.
I missed it. What was it?
And then
And this is a bison tube. This is what they call a bison tube. See how it's showing you how
Oh,
it's
wow.
stuck up here. It looks like oh it belongs, but really it doesn't.
I'm just worried about the cops coming over. The nosy neighbors going.
that's why you do some of those at night. That's even worse. Actually, if you're quiet enough and you can get away with it, you can.
Trying to.
How often do y'all go out and not find the cache?
When you look at one of the things I would do first is to go to recent logs and see if there is any other DNFs,
DNF do not.
which are do not find, the acronym for do not find. And usually people will DNF it if it's a difficult of like a 3 or a 4-star. We'll get to that in a minute. But if it's a very difficult find, you're going to find some DNFs. But if it's like a 1.5 star, which is a very typical one, 1.5 or 2 stars, and there's several DNFs, I would say that's probably not there. You also have to take into consideration how many people have looked after it. I have the lid.
Oh.
How many people have looked after it, how many they have found. Because we'll come across some people that have just started caching, they don't really know what they're looking for in the urban areas. And so that might be
And There's like what we call tools of the trade you take with you. This is like a magnet. Well, the cache is going to be hit here too, like this.
No, that's another bison tube, another size bison tube.
Where do you get something like that?
You can order them at geocaching.com. There's other places also called GX Proxy that's where we got that one from, was GX Proxy. They're usually a little bit cheaper than the geocaching.com website. She's based out of Texas. There's actually a guy that has some of her stuff that lives here in Abilene that can get that stuff to you quickly.
I did like 13 or 14 hides on this thing. And here's another style. I won't demonstrate it, but I'll explain it to you. You see all these holes in here? You fill it up with water, and then another person has to hold their fingers over them.
Over the holes,
And then the cache
and the
will come
cache
to the
will
top.
float up to the top.
Oh, that one's cool.
Most of the time they will say that you will require water. When they say that, then we realize that it's probably going to be one of these. Or we found one.
Well, they'll give you a hint too, like this one was called Archimelius. He's a Greek guy that came up with the idea how things are buoyancy in the water. So they'll use a lot of times the name of the cache will give you away what you're doing.
What you're looking for.
What you expected.
Yes.
Then you-
Sometimes.
Clever.
There's one here underneath this.
And then this is what we call a pico. Look how small that is.
That's about like.
You will find some of these where people will put them and have styrofoam around them, and it looks like a mushroom, or it looks like a rock, or it looks like a charcoal, something like that. And they use those quite a bit.
Then this one too, this reflector, I could have put it on the back of the reflector too.
Then,
The last one is right here.
that's why we put the metal around it. That's why we used to have metal around the bottom too, to throw people off.
Yeah.
But anyway, you could, yeah.
And tweezers are great to have too. You pull out those logs, something gets jammed up.
So I was thinking like on one of those did not find ones, it's something as simple as you open it up and the wind's like this and
And it's gone.
it's gone.
Yes.
We're near a creek and that rolls in the water.
Oh, it happens.
It happens. Just put that in the log.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Let somebody know
And
that.
let us know about it. Also, what we did was, one of the things when we came here was we were going to check on our caches, and that's why we chose to also do this training, is because somebody's like, needs a maintenance log. If you go to a cache and you can sign it, but let's say it's wet on the inside, or the lid is broken, or it looks like it needs some work to it, you write a needs maintenance log, and the owners will get an email saying that you need to check this cache out.
And don't be afraid to DNF a cache too.
Yes.
That helps the cacher too go, well, maybe it's not
The
there.
cache owner, because if it's a fairly easy one, then we're thinking, oh, it might be missing. And so we'll go over there and check it. Yes.
Well, and go ahead. Like crows are typical for stealing things,
Do it.
like a crow or something like that.
Um,
or big birds. Would
One
they-
of the things that I would suggest is you'll come across people that will use their prescription bottles and stuff that has a smell inside. You'll get your raccoons, you'll get your foxes, you'll
Clean
get
them
your
out
crows,
really good, yeah.
and they're going after because they smell something. So please clean them with bleach. And if you can set them in mothballs for a little bit to kill all smells so that they won't come around.
Well, then also too, they say not to put food or candy in
Yes.
the cache. It
When
gets
you,
nasty.
when you
messes
trade, you don't
up.
put anything smelly. Even those little smelly stickers, don't do it. Because the animals will be attracted to it.
And this pin, of course, it's great to have a flashlight, even if it's during daylight. Sometimes you have things in the holes that you need to see. And this pin, you can buy them at Walmart. It's a great pin. It'll write on wet log sheets.
It's called a zebra pen.
Zebra print.
I've had those before. Those are good
You
pins.
can pass
Yeah.
that around. It says zebra on it. They will write on wet logs without tearing the paper up. As long as you're not like pressing real hard, but you can write on it. We had a completely wet log. Somebody said that they couldn't write on it. We found it right after them. We were